Is your blog turning visitors away without you even realizing it? We're going to tell you how to make your site so irresistible, they'll bookmark it on the spot. Plus, stick around because we have an awesome freebie that helps you perform your own UX audit.
Welcome to today's training, Perfect Your Blog's User Experience, also known as UX, for returning readers. It's no secret that first impressions matter in real life, when you're meeting people, but also online. This applies especially online. Your blog's design, its navigation, its readability, it can make the difference. It can make or break you capturing a loyal audience or losing them forever because they're like, this site, I cannot even be on it. I can't even navigate it, right? So today we're going to focus on simple yet impactful changes that you can make to ensure that visitors love your site a lot and that they keep coming back. That's what's important, and Google is paying attention to that.
So, excuse me, you're going to learn how to optimize how an optimized user experience keeps readers engaged and encourages loyalty. You're going to learn practical tips for enhancing your blog's design, your blog's structure, and even the readability of your blog. You're going to learn the importance of intuitive navigation and visually appealing layouts. Plus, we're going to give you some tools and tactics to help you identify problem areas and improve your site's performance.
Yep. Now, what are you going to walk away with? I'm glad you asked. There's 3 things. Number 1, a clear understanding of how tweaks to your blog's UX can boost reader retention, and that's important. You're also going to walk away with number 2, actionable strategies to keep your audience coming back, and number 3, confidence in creating a seamless, enjoyable experience for your readers. Let's dig in.
So, what is the number 1 UX mistake that bloggers make? Ignoring the reader's journey. Many bloggers focus solely on content creation, but they overlook how visitors experience their site. Did you know that many bloggers don't even know what their site looks like on mobile? Seriously.
Super sad. Super sad. So,
a cluttered layout, confusing navigation, and slow loading pages really can frustrate readers and drive them away, no matter how great your content is.
Yeah, it's important that you are a consumer of your own content. Right? Put yourself in their shoes. So why is this habit hurtful? Number 1, it frustrates the visitors. It fractures them. No, it frustrates them. It might fracture them too, but it frustrates them. People can't quickly find what they're looking for. They're going to leave. They're going to go to Pinterest, ChatGPT, back to Google, their favorite trusted blogger. They're going to leave. Okay. It also hurts your credibility. A poorly organized or ugly site can make your blog seem unprofessional and undesirable, right?
And I want you to understand, ugly doesn't mean colors. It doesn't mean anything of that nature. It's the way that it presents when somebody lands there. It's like when you go into Dollar General compared to when you go into Target, right? When you go into Dollar General, it's not the colors. It's not even the layout. It's all the stuff that keeps you from seeing what you're looking for, right?
Mm-hmm. It also lowers reader retention. Constantly trying to attract new visitors is exhausting, but building a loyal readership is much more suitable. And when they come here and they find what they are looking for and it's easy to navigate and you're providing the solution for them, they're going to continue to come back to you, right? Because they enjoyed their experience with you.
Right. And the truth is simple. A blog that looks good, works well, and is easy to use encourages people to stick around and to explore. For example, imagine if you land on a fashion blog that has amazing content, but it's buried under a ton of pop-ups and tiny fonts and unresponsive buttons. Are you going back? Now, imagine a clean, beautifully organized site that's easy to browse, that you can go from place to place. There are larger fonts. It's easier to read. The categories are clear.
Yep.
Which one's going to win your loyalty? And that has nothing to do with the content. We haven't even looked at the content at this point.
Very true. So here's a takeaway for you. Take note of this. The easier and more enjoyable that you make it for the end user, for the consumer, to consume your content and to interact with your content, the more that they're going to want to return. And that is a fact. And
so how do we do it? How do we perfect your blogs or our blogs UX? Well, we focus on seamless, intuitive design. It's not about colors, it's not about the newest and greatest. It's about creating or crafting a delightful user experience.
Yep.
And that doesn't have to be overwhelming. With just a few strategic changes, and it doesn't have to be expensive, right?
Right.
You can create a blog that wows readers and keeps them coming back.
Okay, so we're going to give you some actionable steps because we've always, for 15 years or however long we've been teaching people, we're all about the actionable steps, okay? Here is how you can improve your blog's UX, also known as user experience. Number one, you need to simplify your design. Okay, what does that mean? You need to keep it clean. You need to avoid cluttered layouts. You need to make it simple. It needs to direct their attention to what matters, which is the content. Okay, it doesn't need to be flashy. Like Kelly said, a blog that's full of what you think is beautiful doesn't necessarily mean that it's beautiful. It needs to be clean. Number two, stick to a color palette. Use 2 to 3 complementary colors to make the blog visually cohesive and call it a day. Right? And number 3, invest in high quality visuals. Use clear, engaging images that enhance your message rather than it distracting from it. So whether you are taking gorgeous pictures or you're finding the best of the best stock images or you're having an AI create images for you, it needs to be cohesive. It needs to complement and enhance your content.
Right. So, for example, choose a clean layout where your post titles stand out, where there's plenty of white space to allow the eyes to rest, and where you have carefully placed images that add value while maintaining readability.
Yep. All right. So we have a worksheet for you. You're going to text the word explore to 251-644-6701. All right, let's talk about creative, intuitive navigation. You need to use clear labels. Ensure that categories and menus and links are labeled in a way that makes sense to the end user. And so that it doesn't clutter everything up, right? You've worked hard to make this clean, and now you're cluttering it up with all of this stuff in your navigation, right? Or all of these labels. So, for example, instead of musings, use lifestyle tips if that's what the section is really talking about, right?
And
concise.
Limit your menu options. Okay, you don't have to give them everything. You only have to give them the most important things. You lead them on a journey, right? It's, again, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. It's like a point of sale, right? When you go to a grocery store and the end of an aisle has something for sale, it's typically 1 or 2, maybe even 3 things. That's it, of whatever's all the way down that aisle. Like it might be 2 or 3 cereals or 2 or 3 boxes of cookies, right? Very, very small amount of options. They're called a point of sale because people will buy right there, even if they weren't planning to buy cookies or cereal or whatever, right? Because it's a very concise thing that leads them. If they don't buy, it will grab their attention and send them down the aisle of all the other things.
Right. It'll send them to the aisle of loss leaders that you came in for from the flyer. But they're hoping you buy that thing on the end because they're going to make money on that.
Right. Again, so we limit the menu options. We limit what people see to send them down this rabbit trail of all the things. Too many menu items leads to decision fatigue. So you want to stick to your key categories. You want to keep the options small, right?
Right.
And then you want to make sure that your search bar is prominent. That allows people who have been to your site before, who've sent to your site, who saw something they liked and wonder if you have something else, to find what they need quickly.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So let's give an example of navigation. So a fitness blog with a menu that is intuitive for readers is going to feel like or look like this. So the main nav bar is going to link to the 3 to 5 main topics that they write about or that they want to be known for. So maybe it is, I guess I should have really thought about some
fitness,
fitness,
okay. Exercises, food, and
workout routine.
Right. Exercises, healthy food ideas, and what'd you say?
Workout routine.
There you go.
All right. Then the secondary nav bar, that is going to be something, sorry, I have a hair on my arm. That's going to be something like your about, your contact, your home, your sponsorship. What we like to do is, Kelly really likes to have the navigation for the topics at the top and then the one that's contact, about, and home down in the footer. I personally have
user experience, and it forces those people that are there just to try to
To
sell
really
you
stand
something to at least make your ads load because they have to scroll to the bottom.
Yeah. Mine is my main nav bars across the top, and then up in the upper right hand is where my about and all of that is. But the main thing is we want our main topics that we are a guru for and we want to rank for to be in our nav bar. Okay.
Yeah.
Cleanly. All right.
Number
next.
3, you want to optimize for speed and for mobile use. I talked about this a second ago when I said people don't even know what their sites look like on mobile. So you need to improve your load times. Understand that your site's going to load quickly for you because you have all the cookies for your site on your computer.
Right.
What does it load in an incognito tab? How does it load on your phone, right? All of those things. Just because it's fast for you doesn't mean it's actually fast. Use tools like Google Page Speed Insights to identify the slow loading elements on your site and fix them. Compress images, minimize unnecessary scripts, all of those things. And then you also want to ensure your mobile responsiveness. Since most readers are now browsing on mobile devices, you've got to test your blog layout to ensure that it looks and functions well on smaller screens. If you use something good like Cadence, some of those big things, you can say they only show on desktop, and you can create a mobile version for them. So like if you have big navigation buttons, like if you go to my site, threeboysandadog.com, I have big buttons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have small ones for mobile. So those big, large images do not show on the mobile side of my blog. That would be crazy to load all of that up. It just has little tiny images that look much better on mobile. So,
yep. So here is a great example. A responsive design ensures that text scales properly on mobile devices and that buttons are large enough to tap without frustration. There is nothing more irritating than going to someone's mobile version of their site and you can't even click on what you want to click on because everything is so squished that
you're clicking 4,000 things.
Like, that is so frustrating. So when you're on someone else's site and you experience something like that, walk away and say, let me go make sure that my site's not doing that to people.
Right.
Okay. All right. Number 4.
Number 4, prioritize readability, especially thinking about your target. If your target audience is older ladies, then you need to make sure that you're choosing old lady friendly fonts. Okay. Reader friendly fonts. Stick with clean, minimal fonts of at least 16 pixels for body text. Break it up. Use short paragraphs, use subheadings, use bullet points for easy scanning, and make sure there's plenty of white space. Allow for breathing room around elements to make your site feel airy, inviting, and like I said earlier, to allow space for your eyes to rest.
Yes. So some examples would be use a readable font like Arial or Open Sans, paired with a spacious line font like that has, that's more, I don't know. What am I trying to say here? We want to make sure that it complements each other.
It's a nice font, but also that the line between the spacing between the lines is spacious as well.
Exactly. But still giving you bold subheadings, skimmable content. Like we want to still, you have to remember, people are carrying this around in their back pocket. We've been saying that forever. They are reading it on the go. They are reading it in the carpool line. They are reading it while they are commuting. They are reading it at the grocery store. We need for it to be easy and user-friendly without it taking, like, we don't want the font to take up all the space on the page, right? But we want them to be able to use the page that's loading and have a good user experience, right? That's
we want them to use it and have a good experience.
Mm-hmm. That's really what it boils down to. All right, number 5.
Number 5, you want to make sure you include clear calls to action. You want to guide your readers by encouraging them to take their next step, whether it's reading another blog post, signing up for a newsletter, or even exploring additional resources. You want to guide them there with your calls to action. And you want to make sure that those calls to action actually stand out. You want to use contrasting colors. You want to use actionable phrases. For example, get my free ebook, right? That's a lot more engaging than sign up. So an example call to action placement would be adding read next links at the bottom of a blog post to guide readers to related content. Think about YouTube. We go back to YouTube a lot here lately. But if you watch people, they say at the end of their video, they say, and actually, I did a video on blah, 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 blah. go read that or go watch that here, because that's the next good step for that current video that you're watching.
This is a time when leading the witness is good. Lead the witness. Lead them where they need to go, okay? All right, number 6, regularly audit your site. You need to be doing this. Someone just messaged us today and said, I need an audit, okay? Well, you can do some of that yourself. You need to be utilizing your analytics. You need to check your metrics like your bounce rate and time spent on the page to identify areas for improvement. There are telltale signs in your analytics that are going to tell you that you need to fix something, clean something up, change something, what have you, okay? Also, ask for feedback, survey your readers, survey and talk to trusted peers about their experience on your blog. You need to be doing that. And also, can you hear my dogs barking? I think someone's at the door. No, okay. Also, test your site. Browse your site as if you are a first-time visitor. Be a consumer of your blog. Is the navigation smooth? Do the pages load quickly? Does this load on mobile? Does this feel like an easy site to navigate? That's important. Okay, give them an example.
Okay. Excuse me. Real quick, I do want to say, about the audit thing. We've had other people say to us, oh, well, I don't know how to do all that techie stuff. I'm just a blogger. No, you're not just a blogger. You're a business owner. Mm-hmm. No, you don't have to know how to replace the air conditioner in your business, but you do need to know that it needs to be replaced. Mm-hmm. You do need to know how to change your filters, right? Mm-hmm. You do need to know how to clean. Like, there are things that you still have to know in your business. You have to know how to know that there's a problem in your blog.
There are certain responsibilities that are yours. Right?
So, example, after noticing a high bounce rate on a specific page, you simplify its layout and you add clearer calls to action, resulting in more engagement. But you have to notice the high bounce rate. That means you have to dig through your data. You have to notice that this room is hotter than that room in order to call your AC guy about it. Right? You have to notice the high bounce rate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So your final UX challenge, excuse me, this week, choose one of the UX areas we've discussed and commit to improving it on your blog. Design. You can declutter your homepage to highlight your most popular content instead of trying to do all of your content. You can do navigation. So simplify your menu so that readers can find your categories more easily. Or you can work on your readability by enlarging your body text and experimenting with breaking up longer paragraphs.
Yep. So once you've made these changes, I want you to ask yourself these 3 things. Does this make my blog easier to use? Again, back to being a consumer of your content and of your site. Number 2, am I guiding readers to explore more? Am I leading them to other things so that I can build deeper connection with them, deeper links, deeper reading? Google's paying attention to that. And how does this tweak improve the overall reader experience? Or does it? Those are things you need to be thinking about. Okay.
Yeah, empowering your readers with a seamless, enjoyable visit to your blog. Sorry about that. You can hear my dogs now. Builds trust. It makes them want to return again and again. Remember, UX isn't just about how your blog looks. It's about how it feels to your audience. Each reader who feels valued and engaged with is a step closer to becoming a long-term fan.
Yep. And don't forget, you've got this. Now, go make one small UX improvement today and watch as your blog becomes a destination that your readers absolutely love. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you in the next video. Bye.